And just like that, another month has come to an end, and September truly was such a magical month. Of course, being back in Walt Disney World, you can't see, but I'm wearing one of my new jumpers, was the biggest highlight and the ultimate highlight. Being back in Walt Disney World with Mark this past month was absolutely incredible and so magical. It was definitely the high, but every high comes with a low. And that is at the end of September I did come down with a fever. So although I wanted to be back on track with my habits and all that fun stuff, the last week of September, October truly is going to be my clean slate and my fresh start. So I'm ready to set some new goals, focus back on my habits and prep myself ready for the last couple of months of 2024 so we can end with a bang. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to my September wrap up and my October reset video. If you have no idea how these videos kind of pan out, I think I've found my perfect formula, and that is combining bookish things with life things. So if you are new to my channel and new to these videos, the way this is going to work is we're going to sit down and talk through all the books I read in September, the good, the bad, the ugly, go through my September book haul, all the books I acquired this month, and then we're heading over to the more lifestyle things, because you can't start a new month and set new goals without reflecting on the old ones. So we're going to recap September. Did I set any goals? Did I complete any of them? Yada yada yada. And then we're going to go into setting goals for October and looking forward to the month ahead. So grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and let's get planning. So from my TBR game, September set me 6 books to read, and out of those 6 books I read 4 of the books and then 1 additional one, totaling 1,731 pages, which I'm not too shabby about, seeing as I was away for half of September. Sometimes I don't even read 5 books in an entire month when I'm in the UK not doing anything in 4 weeks. In fact, I was away for 2 of those weeks and still managed to read 5 books and over 1,000 pages. I'm pretty chuffed with myself. 2 of those books were physical, 1 was an audiobook, and 2 of them were ebooks off my Kindle. We had 4 romances and 1 fantasy. We had 1 5-star, 2 4.5 stars, 1 3.5 star, and 1 3-star. 2 were from KU, 2 were gifted, and 1 was off my physical TBR. And these are the books I read, so let's quickly do a rundown. I started off reading Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowen-Young, which was my 5-star of September. I came back, I was really in the mood to read. I wanted to pick something up quick and fast. I knew I was going to be able to fly through. I just decided to pick up this book on my Kindle because I brought it just before going off to Disney, hopefully to read on the flight. That didn't happen. I didn't read anything in Disney, let's just face it. We'll forget about that, but I did obviously read a lot when I got back. And this was the first book I read when I got back because I just wanted to see what all the hype was about, and oh my god, the hype was worth it. Oh my god, this book was so cute. Bo and Win were absolutely adorable. This book basically follows the 2 of them who have a one-night stand, and then the book follows the unexpected pregnancy trope, but it's done so well. I fell head over heels for these 2 main characters as well as their best friends. I cannot wait for the second book in this kind of like companion series to come out called Out of the Woods next April, I believe, because it follows Win's best friend Sarah, and she was just absolutely hilarious. I was laughing out loud through this book. The writing was incredible, the smut was really good. Just, I can't fault this book. This book was so good and I'm so glad I read it. And I think I read it at the perfect time because this book does follow and discuss a lot about pregnancy and motherhood and all that fun stuff, and that is definitely an area of my life, the next chapter that I'm hopefully about to go into. So having kind of like a fun sort of take on that was really eye-opening, but also just like made me feel less alone about that part of my life, and that even things unplanned can go your way and turn out just as good. So yeah, this kind of did definitely put an ease on my like worries of mine and Mark's next chapter in our lives. So this book came at the perfect time. Absolutely adored it. 5-star. One of my new favourite books, and I cannot wait to read the rest of Hannah Bowen-Young's backlog and books to come. I'm so excited to see what she has in store for her writing career. Because I was in a massive reading mood, I thought let's just get a chonker off my TBR. Let's read a book that I'm not that excited about, because me just wanting to read will help me push myself through this book. So the next book I picked up was A Pearl of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, which is the second book in the Dance of Thieves duology, and the kind of like spin-off world is the Kiss of Deception series, which is one of my favourite fantasy series, which is why I was so excited to read the duology. The duology didn't live up to how much I love the Kiss of Deception series. You don't really need to read the Kiss of Deception series before going into Dance of Thieves and Veil of Thieves, but I would personally recommend it, especially the Veil of Thieves, because there are spoilers from the Kiss of Deception in this book. So if you didn't know, the Kiss of Deception has a really interesting plot where you follow three characters: a princess running away from her wedding day, the husband-to-be, the prince that she was meant to marry, as well as the assassin sent to kill her by her own family for running away on her wedding day. And throughout the entire story, you get these three perspectives, but you have no idea whose perspectives you're reading from. So it's this whole kind of like mystery, and one of those characters is named and kind of like shouted about. So if you don't want spoilers for Kiss of Deception, you need to read Kiss of Deception before going into Dance of Thieves, because I feel like I do hear people online saying that you don't need to read Kiss of Deception before going into this series, and I personally feel like you do if you don't want spoilers. So yes, but apart from that, this book was good, but it wasn't amazing. I definitely felt like it was better than Dance of Thieves. I definitely felt more captivated. I liked the ending. The second half was very much like a pick-up, fast-paced, like, oh my god, what's going to happen? But obviously I can't really say anything of what it's about, because one, I don't want to spoil Kiss of Deception, and two, I don't want to spoil Ballad of Thieves. I've given both of these books a 3.5 stars, so it's like an okay fantasy duology for me, but definitely not my favourite and will not beat my love for the Kiss of Deception series. But I'm glad I read it. Thank you so much, Claire, for gifting me the whole duology. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, just weren't really for me. I really felt like Mary Pearson's writing was so much stronger, and her world building and her characters were so much stronger in the Kiss of Deception series than they were in this one, unfortunately. So just a good, solid fantasy, but a lot of the world building did go over my head. I wasn't that in love with the characters compared to Kiss of Deception, and yeah, it was just an okay read for me. And then I decided to listen to the audiobook of Love Story by Lindsay Kelk, which, oh my god, I'm so glad I listened to the audiobook, because I was laughing out loud so much whilst I was listening to this. This book truly reminded me of The Party Crasher by Sophie Kinsella, where the main character just kept getting into sticky situations, really awkward situations that just would make you laugh out loud and be like, oh my god, you're like absolute idiot, but it's just so funny to read. This book basically follows our main character, Sophie, who is a school teacher, but on the side she is a romance writer, but she kind of delves into all the smut, and she has a best-selling book called Butterflies. The downside to that, though, is her family are all in the world of publishing, and both her parents are very much high-level, highly esteemed literary fiction publishers and writers, so they don't really see all the fuss with romance, and they kind of point their nose down on it. They don't really get the romance. They think it's like a pointless genre. So that is why Sophie remains hidden and has a pen name, because she doesn't want her family finding out that she has written this best-selling novel that is full of smut. Enter Joe Walsh, who is also in the publishing world, and finds out that Sophie is the author of Butterflies, and they have to keep it a secret between the two of them. Enemies to lovers, so much banter, so much sexual tension, so good. This is my favourite standalone Lindsay Kelk book ever. I have read pretty much her entire backlog of books. Obviously my favourites being the I Heart series. I can't pick a favourite. Yes I can, I Heart New York. But that's like, I kind of like categorise that as a whole series, but in terms of standalone, this is my favourite one so far. Her banter really shines in this one. I love Lindsay Kelk's writing style. The romance was so good. Just like the amount of awkward situations Sophie and Joe got themselves into trying to keep this secret. Oh, it was just so good. Highly recommend it. And if you love this book, I do highly recommend also reading Sophie Kinsella's The Party Crasher, and vice versa. If you read that, read this one, because it was so good. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. Now the weather has started to turn. A cup of teas are very much a must in each and every day, and it's getting colder. The cozy socks are out, the jumpers are on, the rain is pouring down. It was time to get cozy with a cozy fantasy, so I picked up The Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley, and unfortunately this book wasn't for me. It was good, it was cute, but it wasn't as amazing as I was kind of hoping it to be, and I feel like the title is so misleading. Obviously it says A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, and I really don't think the fake dating in this book really shone through as much. Like, why title your book Fake Dating if you're not going to really use that as like a main plot point, because it wasn't really fake dating at all. It was like said, yes, and it technically was fake dating, but it wasn't really like pulled upon as part of like the book plot, and it just kind of like fell flat in terms of like the fake dating. I didn't ever really feel connected to the characters. I wasn't really there for the chemistry or the romance. This book basically follows our main character Marielle, who is a witch, but she's a very bad witch in a family of excellent witches and wizards, and she has this sort of pressure to be just as good as the rest of them. Her strong point is nature magic. She listens to the trees, she can like move the earth, she's very much like in the ground and rooted into the ground, and her magic very much stems from the earth. But her family don't really see this as a good type of magic. They want her to be really good at teleportation and all these other kind of like more well-versed parts of magic. So one night when she's trying to bake something with magic, she accidentally uses the wrong spell for flour and summons a demon. And these demons, when summoned, have to take your soul in return for a wish. Marielle didn't want this demon, it was accidentally summoned, yet this demon is now attached to her side because he needs her soul and she doesn't want to give it because this summoning was accidental. So you follow these two enemies to lovers trying to figure out a new dynamic between not wanting to be there and then obviously starting to fall for each other. And it was cute, it just wasn't anything like exceptional. I gave it a 3-star. And then the last book I read in September, which I'm technically still in the middle of, I've got about 100 pages left, is The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy, which is book 1 in the Briar U off-campus spin-off series. I absolutely adored the entire off-campus series when I read it across the last couple of months. I absolutely adore that series. I just love the camaraderie between all the characters. I love how each book followed a different set of characters, and I just absolutely had a whirl of time. Elle Kennedy's smut writing is a chef's kiss in my opinion, and I just really enjoyed that entire series. So I was really excited to find out The Graham Effect, and this spin-off series follows some of the characters' children from the off-campus series. So The Graham Effect basically follows our main character, Gigi, who is Garrett Graham's daughter. If you know, you know. And then her love interest, Ryder, and basically the plot is that Gigi is also a really well-trained, well-renowned hockey player for the Briar University's female hockey team, but unfortunately Briar University's rival college, Eastwood, has fallen through and they no longer have any funding, so they decide to merge the two hockey teams together, and that is when Ryder enters because he is one of the hockey players from Eastwood's side, and Ryder and Gigi start getting a connection, and it goes on from there. And oh my god, it is so good. I absolutely love these two together. I'm absolutely obsessed, and I've already written it down as a 4.5 stars because I just don't think it's giving me that like 5-star feeling, but I am absolutely obsessed with this book and I'm so excited to finish it off, hopefully this evening before October officially starts. But yeah, absolutely loving that book so much. So those are all the books I read in September. Let's hop into all the books I hauled in September. So I read 5 books in September and I hauled 6, so not really doing very well with physical TBR. I'm definitely adding to my physical TBR again compared to like trying to minimise it, which I still really need to do, but I got back from holiday and I just wanted to treat myself to some books, so that's exactly what I did. I went to go get my nails taken off. I had shellac nails for holiday, went into town to get them taken off, and I was like, well, I'm in town, so I might as well like visit the works, because why wouldn't I? And in the works, the first thing I saw was a physical copy of Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowen-Young, and I was in the middle of this book at the time and I knew I wanted a physical copy so one day I could reread it and have it up and make it part of my forever collection. So that's exactly what I did. I picked this book up for like £3, £3.50, something like that. The works is really cheap, everyone knows that by now. And then I was like, oh my god, I saw Next to You by Hannah Bowen-Young as well, so I was like, well, that one's coming home with me, bargain. And these were part of the 3 for 6 deal, so that's the deal that I went for. And I had 2 books. I was scouring the shelves for any other Hannah Bowen-Young books, but I just couldn't find Next of Kin, which is the first book in the Next to You series, companion series, duology. I don't know what it's going to be. So to complete the deal, there weren't really many books that were like screaming out to me like these 2, but I did pick up a book called The Wedding of the Year by Jill Mansell, because I've been wanting to read Jill Mansell for so long. Every time I look up one of her books on Goodreads, they always have an above 4-star average rating, and I just know I feel like I'm going to really enjoy her. I love the Lindsay Kelks, I love the Paige Toons, I love the Sarah Morgans, I love the Lucy Diamonds, and Jill Mansell's very much in that same sort of category. So I picked this one up. I don't know truly what it's about, but it does have an above 4-star average on Goodreads, and this book basically says Lottie is a guest at a wedding when she sees Max again. No kiss has ever matched the last one they shared 15 years ago. Now here he is, that overwhelming electric attraction is back, and Max is way out of bounds. Freya owes Cameron everything, but she doesn't love him, which is a shame because they're about to get married. Ruby has been the perfect wife. When she discovers the truth about her husband, her response is reckless and delicious. Surely she deserves one glorious act of revenge. It's set to be a perfect day, but the wedding definitely isn't going to plan. So I think it follows like 3 different kind of like wedding guests as well as the bride-to-be, and shit goes down apparently. So yeah, I'm intrigued to like discover if I like Jill Mansell's writing style or not, and then kind of like go from there. But yeah, I just picked this one up to complete the 3 for 6 deal, but I'm very, very excited the fact that I've got these 2 in my possession. And then the last book I got in the works was Sarah Adams' newest release, The Rule Book. I am obsessed with Sarah Adams. I've read When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect this year, both being 5 stars. And I know this is the second book in the Cheat Sheet companion series, and I will get to the cheat sheet, but I just thought for £3 I couldn't say no. I think this is another kind of like sport romancy book. Nora Mackenzie's career lies in the hands of the famous NFL player Derek Pender. The problem, he also happens to be her extremely hot college ex-boyfriend, and Nora didn't end things as gracefully as she could back then. Now Derek is her first client as a full-time sport agent, and he's holding a grudge. So kind of like second chance romance, enemies to lovers. I'm here for it. I love Sarah Adams' writing style, so I'll pick anything up that she writes now. So yay, another one added to my collection. And then because I couldn't find Next of Kin in the works, as soon as I got home I went to order it off Amazon, so I do have Next of Kin as well. So I do believe I have all of Hannah Bowen Young's books either read or on my physical TBR now, and I'm very, very excited to get to it. I have no idea what these books are about, but the fact that she has now become like a go-to author for me because of Out of a Limb and the writing style and the banter that she had made between the characters, and just, yeah, like tick, 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 all the categories for me in terms of a romance book. I'm really, really excited to get to the rest of her collection. So yeah, Next of Kin and Next to You are now on my physical TBR. And then the last book I got in September was Daydream by Hannah Grace. I picked this one up from Tesco for £4.50 on Club Card. I'm really, really annoyed though, but am I really annoyed? I don't know, you can decide. I saw this book at the airport in Orlando, and I had the American copy, like, which is all nice and floppy, like, but I didn't pick it up because I was like, well, if I get the American edition, it won't match Icebreaker and Wildfire, so I need the UK edition. But I really, really wish I'd brought the American edition, just to say that I got the American edition. But then also I do kind of hold a grudge on myself that A Novel Love Story by Ashley Fossum was also at the airport in Orlando, and I could have got that one and just had 2 copies of that book, so it's like one of my favourite books. But hey ho, I got the UK edition of Daydream as soon as I got back from holiday, and I'm really excited to get to this one, and this is on my October TBR, and this is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace, and this one follows Henry, one of the friends within the friend group of this like mini universe. He is ice hockey captain, so there's a lot of sports romances going on at the minute, but that's definitely like the TikTok trend, but I'm not complaining because I really enjoyed them. So yeah, another book added to my physical TBR. So overall, I'm very, very chuffed with how September's gone in terms of my reading. I've picked up some books I'm super, super excited to get to, and I've read some amazing books getting back from holiday, and I cannot wait to see where October goes with my reading. The TBR gods weren't really in my favour. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link up above and down below, but my October TBR game is chaotic, to say the least, so check that one out to see what books have made it to my TBR. Hopefully I can read a lot in October and continue on this amazing kind of like reading streak that I'm on, but overall I'm just happy that I have managed to read 5 books in 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm very, very chuffed with that. And with that being said, let's hop into planning for October. I would say let's recap on September and my goals that I set, but I didn't really set any. The ones I did set in terms of my to-dos were to film the Disney wrap-up with Mark, which we did do yesterday, so I can technically take that one off. Change my meds, which I did do, so I can take that one off. And then sort out my unhaul pile, which I didn't do, which is fine. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it in the last 2 weeks of the month when I got back, especially then obviously catching a fever and not feeling 100% the last full week of September either. So yeah, we can push that one to next month, which is fine. And then in terms of my actual goals that I set, like as we landed on the day we got back from Disney, get routines back. I kind of did. I definitely managed to easily get back into waking up at 5 AM. In terms of my other habits, not so much in terms of like consistently drinking cranberry juice, consistently drinking enough water and flossing and all that boring, fun, adulting stuff that you don't really think about when on holiday. I didn't get all of those habits back on track, so I can't take that one off. One of my other goals was to catch up with my 1 line a day journal. So if you don't know, I have a 5-year 1 line a day journal, which I don't take really with me. So when I go on holidays for a long stint, i.e. 2 weeks to Disney, I then have to, when I get back, catch up on all the days that I missed, which I did manage to do. And then the last one was to focus on habits, which obviously I didn't do. So in terms of saying if September was a success or not, I can't really say that because it really wasn't. But October is a clean slate. I'm really excited. I'm motivated to set some goals and get going. I'm gonna be simple, I'm gonna keep it stripped back because it is my first kind of like full month of like being back on track, being back in the UK and actually feeling better. So I'm gonna take it easy on myself and only set a few goals. So let's get going into setting my October goals. So we are now in my Notion spread for my healthy habits section, and this is where I'm just going to write down my monthly goals for October and just kind of like share with you what my daily habits are going to kind of like focus on in the month, and just where I want to be by the end of the month, hopefully, is back on track with my fitness and my encompassing kind of habits underneath movement. So my first goal that I've already written down, which I want to really refocus on in October, is to figure out a new workout schedule that includes spinning, strength training with Sydney Cummings, who is my favourite YouTuber in terms of fitness and working out, and walking and stretching. So those are my 4 kind of like favourite ways of working out. I love Sydney Cummings, I love lifting weights with her, I absolutely love her workouts. I think they're accessible, they're easy, but I also do push myself, and it's just nice some days not having to think about which workout I'm going to do and just kind of like follow one of her videos and know that she's got it covered, that she's a professional and she knows what she's talking about. I also always have done since 2019 loved spin, so I want to get that back in my schedule. And then walking and stretching are 2 that I just want to keep consistent with, because I feel like some days I'm so good at getting my steps in, I'm so good at walking, but that really is weather dependent. And then stretching is also just good for future me, and that is definitely one of my just like big overarching goals for the rest of this year, is focusing on my future self and things that I know will benefit me in the next year and further on from that as well. Because if you didn't know, me and Mark are trying to expand our family in the next year, so I definitely am focusing on my future self, and not only helping myself with my future self, but also hopefully helping future children and Mark in my recovery and all that fun stuff that is yet to come. And hopefully that happens for me. But I think my goal that I can focus on and I can assist myself with right now is focusing on stretching, getting stronger, and just continuing working out and finding joy in it. So that's my main overarching goal for the month of October, is to figure out a new workout schedule that includes spin, Sydney Cummings, walking and stretching. But underneath that, as that is my main goal, I say this lightheartedly, I want to get 8k steps in a day. 8k steps daily. I don't know if that's possible, but I would love to get that done. 10k for me is mostly unachievable most days. I have an office job. I sit at my desk from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, and I barely get 5k in most days. So 8k steps is a big amount for me, and coming off the back of Disney where we're doing like 20,000 steps a day and never feeling bloated, even though we're eating a load of shit, I know how crucial walking is for your digestion, and I would like to keep that up. So that's kind of like my second mini one. And in terms of that, hydration. Hydration for me is, I want to say 2 bottles, but my new bottle is 1.2 litres. Thank you, America. So I'm not going to say 2 bottles, I'm going to say 2 litres, which is like 1.5 of the big bottle that I just showed you. So 2 litres of water daily. You'll notice that most of my goals are daily things because I am really trying to focus on my future self, as I keep saying. I would love to stretch once a week. So 1 stretch, 1 times 1 20-minute stretch video a week. Sunday, most likely, but 1 a week. That's 4 stretches across a month. I can do that. I can do that, I hope. And in terms of like non-fitness, health-related goals, I would love to sort out my unhaul pile this month. I'm going to put them here, but they're not really like healthy habit related, so sort my unhaul pile out. If you haven't seen, I recently, like a month and a half ago, did a massive end of summer book unhaul. I unhauled over 50 books. Where are those books, you say? Still you can't see because my chair's in the way, but they're literally just stashed down at the bottom of my bookcase, and I haven't done anything with them, so I need to sort out my unhaul pile, whether they're going to go to Vinted, whether they're going to go to Ziffit, whether they're going to go to a charity shop, whether they're going to go to my free library. I just need to like organise, take pictures, upload them, etc. I just need to organise it. It's been on my to-do list for too many months now. I need to get it done, so sort out my unhaul pile. Another thing Mark and I need to do is we brought a really beautiful photo album out in Disney World, and we need to get our pictures printed and put into our photo album before we forget about it, and then the photo album sits empty for years and then we have no connection to it. So print, sort and print out Disney photos for album. I would love to get that done. Not this weekend because I'm busy, but next weekend would be amazing to like sit down together, go through all our photos, like look back on our memories, and then pick the best ones and get those printed and delivered, so then we can put them all in our little photo album, which I'm very, very excited for. So that's another goal of mine. This seems like quite a stretch, but another goal of mine is to start saving for Christmas, which is a crazy thing to say, but the way I get paid mid-month, so I get paid on the 15th of every month, so really I only have October and November's paycheck to save / spend and buy Christmas presents with, because by the time my December pay comes around I only have like a week until Christmas, and that's sometimes not enough time to organise things. So I have to start saving for Christmas sooner rather than later, so I'm going to put that down as a goal. Another goal of mine is to continue editing my Walt Disney World vlog series. I'm going to be doing this anyway, but it's nice to have easy goals you know you can tick off. I have been absolutely loving editing this series, and the love and the appreciation I've had on them definitely is making my heart very happy and has motivated me more to keep editing them, because sometimes it's a very daunting task to sit down with an hour and a half of unedited footage and make it into something that people want to watch. But the fact that you guys are watching, liking, subscribing really does mean the world to me. So yeah, I'm going to continue editing those ones, and I'm definitely going to be doing them weekly. Before I went away on holiday, I was like, I can put 2 videos out a week. I could do 2 What Is Well videos a week, no problem. But I didn't realise how much raw footage we were going to have, and it's been quite a lot of work to cut that back and make it into an enjoyable vlog. So 1 a week up until the 22nd of December, so enjoy. I'm gonna leave it there in terms of like the goals I do want to focus on, and keep it small and concise before I start to overwhelm myself and get too ahead of myself before I've even kind of like got back into my usual habits. So the last thing I just wanted to show you guys is that I do kind of schedule my workouts. So bear with me, this looks really, really busy, but in terms of my overarching goal, which is to get spinning, Sydney Cummings, walking and stretching back into my routine and find a routine that I can stick with of all those 4 things that I enjoy, I need to get it scheduled out into a calendar, otherwise I have no hope in hell in trying to figure out a routine that actually works for me. So I did have it all scheduled out for the entire month of October before I got ill, and then I got ill and I have kind of not thought about working out, which is fair enough. So this morning I haven't done a 40-minute leg, so I'm just going to delete that. That's what's so good about Notion. It leaves no trace, and it's like it never existed. And then tomorrow I'm going to see how I feel, but I definitely won't be doing a 30-minute spin. I will be doing a 20-minute depending on how I feel. And then I think Wednesday is a good day maybe to stretch and just see how I felt after Tuesday's spin session, and then we're just going to go from there. But kind of what I would aim for is, because I work from home Mondays and Fridays, those are the perfect days to do the longer strength training, weightlifting workouts with Sydney Cummings. So Mondays and Fridays are going to be my weight training, my strength training workouts. And then Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday will be flexible in my spin and my stretching, depending on how much I ache from Sydney Cummings punishments. And then hopefully a walk on Saturday with Mark would be amazing. But I'm hoping I can like walk consistently, like kind of like sporadically throughout the week, just kind of like when I have a spare moment. Like today is Monday, I work from home. I could have gone for a walk on my lunch break, but I'm filming a video instead. But that would have been like the key opportunity for me to get my steps in for today. Alas, that hasn't happened because I need to film this video, which is fine. But that's kind of like how I figure out when I'm going to work out each day of each week, and it just really does depend on my mood and what I'm feeling. Like I can easily just switch things around if I feel like it. That didn't do any switching around at all. I can easily switch things around if I feel like it, or if my body is like screaming at me being like, don't spin today, your legs hurt too much, I can just do a stretch instead. But it's nice just to have some sort of structure to know what I'm going into each week. So that's it, that's my September wrap up and my October reset video. I'm really excited just for a new month, a clean slate, fully be back into the swing of things now I'm no longer on holiday, and get back to all my healthy habits and my working out and eating better and drinking more, etc, etc, and hopefully no more illnesses come my way and I can keep a steady pace with working on my future, for my future self. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from weekly reading vlogs, monthly TBRs, monthly wrap-ups, and any other push content you can think of. I usually have it on my channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any. On the other side of that, I'm also still uploading my Walt Disney World vlog series, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of those, because they are so much fun and I do highly recommend you check them out. And without further ado, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.